A new WikiLeaks release shows email exchanges between Hillary Clinton's political team and government officials regarding containing the potential fallout over her use of a private email server. The latest emails show that the campaign was trying to get help from congressional allies in managing public statements about that. Joining me right now is former RNC chairman Jim Nicholson. Jim, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Lots to talk about this morning, so we're glad you're here with us. First off, what do you make of these WikiLeaks releases?
They're very revealing. I think the most troubling thing I've seen is where they deride Catholics and make fun of people who, follow the Catholic religion. For example, they were very critical of Rupert Murdoch, made fun of him for having his kids baptized in the Jordan River where Christ was baptized by John the Baptist, and they made light of that, made fun of that, ridiculed it. And it's very revealing to me of the mindset that they have about the Catholic Church. And as a Catholic, I'm deeply offended by that, and I think that is far more outrageous than what we've been hearing about a couple of, macho guys in a bus 11 years ago.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's interesting. I was just thinking about this last night, actually. Why isn't there more outrage about what's happening to Christians all across the world? And then this making fun of Catholicism in these emails. I don't understand.
Well, there's a history there. Hillary Clinton for 30 years has derided the Catholic Church, and the biggest offense is her advocacy of open, taxpayer-subsidized abortion and abortion on demand and partial birth abortions where a child is partly born, sometimes comes out accidentally and can still be killed. She's a strong advocate of that. She's, for death, and the contrast is clear. With the Republican Party and Mr. Trump, they're for life. They're for life and opportunity, and she's a candidate of the party of death, and we're the candidate for the party of life.
Well, I mean, look, then you've got the Catholic Church up in arms about the 2005 video where Donald Trump obviously makes those lewd remarks. So RNC Chairman Reince Priebus has assured members nothing has changed and that the RNC is in full coordination with the Trump campaign. So you've got the tape. The Catholic Church goes berserk over the tape. And they're not even admitting that Christians are getting slaughtered across the world. Even when you look at the refugees coming into this country, it's a minuscule number of Christians. It's largely Muslims, obviously. Do you agree with how Reince Priebus is handling this situation? Is that what you would have done in the seat?
I think he's doing a good job. He's doing his job. His job is to lead the Republican Party, and Donald Trump went through the process of the Republican Party and got himself nominated. And Priebus is the chairman of the party, and he is working to try to help get Trump elected as well as everybody else down that ballot. His primary job now in this national election is to get people to turn out to vote. They've always relied on the Republican Party to do that, and it's a major responsibility. And Reince Priebus is doing that. He's doing it in concert with the party structure, with the nominee, and with the state parties. And there's a lot of fog out there masking what the real issues are. I mean, if American people just contrast the two opportunities that they have, if they want more government and more taxes and open borders and abortion on demand with taxpayer subsidized, if they want a weaker military, less personal security, and less independence on the part of state agents or federal agencies like the IRS and the Justice Department, then they have a clear choice in Hillary Clinton. But if they want the reverse of that, if they want lower taxes and a stronger military and stronger personal security and controlled borders and increased morale among the American people with more pride and more respect from abroad, they have a clear choice there in Donald Trump. Trump was an unconventional candidate. He wasn't my candidate originally, but he went through the process, and he fought and he won. He's now my candidate, and he's a great opportunity now for America.
Right, but unfortunately, he's fighting many fronts right now. He's fighting women after those comments. He's fighting the media, who is on the side of Hillary Clinton, and he's fighting his own people, the GOP. Did Paul Ryan do the right thing, or should Paul Ryan have stood up and said, yes, I denounced these comments, this was a horrible thing that he said, but here's his economic plan, here's the next 4 years for the country, and this is what we need to be doing? Or did he do the right thing by just watching his own back and making sure that his re-election, all the other down ballots go well for him?
I think a lot of Paul Ryan. He's a good man and a good conservative Republican, and you know he had to make his own decision about that. By the way, he didn't say he wasn't supporting and wouldn't vote for Donald Trump, but he said he was going to go his own way as the head of the Republican caucus in the House, and you know that's a decision that he had to make. I don't agree with it. I think we do better as an old party chairman. I can tell you the benefits of being united versus being split up and divided and splintered. But that was Paul's call. But you know, we can still win this thing throughout the ballot. We can win the presidency, and we can hold on to the House, and we can hold on to the Senate. For God's sakes, if we were to lose the presidency, we wouldn't want to give Hillary Clinton a blank check by having a Democrat Senate and a Democrat House. Look what happened to this country in the first 2 years of Obama when he had a Democrat Senate and a House. We're still dealing with the, you know, Obamacare and Dodd-Frank.
Yeah.
And,
so then why can't the party just get in line? I mean, frankly, you know, I know I said this story a lot when I was at the DNC. Debbie Wasserman Schultz gets pushed out because she was obviously in the tank for Hillary, and she made all these comments about Bernie Sanders, and they were putting all these roadblocks in front of him. And we only spoke about, I mean, it was a huge story. It's the Democratic National Convention, and she's the chairman, and she gets pushed out on day one. We only spoke about that story for one day. Why? Because all the Democrats got together, and they all got in line and said, let's turn this story into a story about Russia. And that's exactly what everybody was talking about from then on out, about Russia and this connection, apparently, with Donald Trump, which doesn't exist anyway. And yet the Republicans, they have to stick to their principles. They will not get behind Donald Trump in a big way.
well, you know, Republicans are Republicans for a reason. They're principled people who have a more difficult sell because you're not, you know, talking about giving things away. You're talking about creating opportunities for people to earn their way and to have a more fulfilling life and to have a stronger country and more pride and more patriotism. And sometimes that's a difficult sell, especially in these days where you have so many people that are down on their luck economically because of the Obama economic plan for 8 years, and all they talk about is giving them more you know, tax credits and more assistance and so forth. And there's some people some people really need that. But we're the party of opportunity, and it works, by the way. When we've been in power and we've created more jobs and we've grown the economy, everybody thrives, and that's what Trump stands for, and that's what Trump will do.
Yeah, real quick before you go, you're the former Secretary of the Veterans Affairs Office. There's no shortage of upsets at the VA. What's the problem? How come it can't get fixed?
The basic problem at the VA is that, you know, the Secretary of the VA is the CEO of the largest health care provider in the United States. He has that responsibility, but he doesn't have the authority that goes with it. He can't hire and fire like a CEO can. He can't transfer assets. He can't close facilities and open facilities and order people to transfer and go to a hospital or medical center where they have more needs than where they're currently stationed. And the unions, by the way, under Obama have taken a very firm grip over the VA, and you just saw that in that example of the person who was fired in Chicago. The unions stood up for her. She was finally, in an arbitration, fired. She lied during the arbitration. 3 months later, she got hired by the VA and the Phoenix Hospital.
Right.
And those are the kind of rights that are baked in there that the union has proposed, and that the VA secretary, with whom I have great sympathy, because he just doesn't have the authority that he needs with the responsibility that he has, and the Congress needs to fix that.
Understood. Jim Nicholson, good to have you on the program this morning. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
We will see you soon. Up next.